Hey y'all, Rick Sky here. Welcome back to another live show. And this is Epic Drone Show episode number 64. That's right, Epic Drone Show episode 64. And I'm out here hanging out on the beach on Joost Van Dyke. Good stuff. We got Mario. What's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on, Mario. And that's a live show. And I welcome you to the live show. So good to have you here tonight. We're going to talk about Mavic Air 2. We're going to talk about all the other drones. And I've got something that probably will surprise a lot of y'all. And this is something that I just found out about. And it's going to change the world. So, we're on social media right now with YouTube. I mean, this is YouTube live streaming. A lot of us probably use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and, all those social networks. But, and I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but I'm going to go ahead and remember, look back a year or two from now and remember that Rick Sky is the guy that turned you on to this. So, there is a new, and you're probably going to chuckle and say, new social media network? New social network? That sounds kind of crazy. Jake, welcome aboard, man. Good evening from Kingston from me and my sisters. Maka and... hold on a second. I'm not a salesperson, so I'm trying to remember the names. Maka and I'll think of it here in a minute. Ooh, a surprise tonight. Yeah, so the surprise, and I'm going to post the link right now within the video's comments. So, and I'm about to post it, so I'm going to wait just a second because I want it to be, I want to increase the level of suspense here. So there's a new social network that is about to be launched. And I'm very... Maya, there you go. Maka and Maya, because you said McKenna, I could call her Maka. But it's McKenna full, Maka short. Maka, 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 Maka. So, yeah, so the surprise is something that... And we're going to get into drones too. But this is something that will be good for drones. One of the problems plaguing social media today... Well, I'm not going to go into problems because we hear about problems on the news and this, that, and the other. Let's just put it this way. There's a social media network that's coming. Their target date is probably, and you'll see this on their website, I think their target date is probably around September of 2020, September of this year. What this social media network is a social media network that's unlike any social media network that you've experienced before, possibly even YouTube. Now, it's not, and again, it's going, once it's released, you'll be able to see all the ins and the outs. But at a high level, I can confidently say that it's going to grossly, not just trump, but grossly trump Facebook. So, if you're tired of all the current social media networks and, you'd like to connect with friends, you'd like to connect with family, maybe there's other reasons that you have for using social media, and maybe you value your privacy. Privacy is paramount for a lot of us. And, if you're looking for the next big thing, just remember that you heard it from Rick Sky's Adventure Channel first. So I'm about to post the link, and I'm posting it into the comments right here. Say hello to Eloq. So it's Eloq, ELOQ.social. Eloq.social is going to change the way that we utilize social media. It's going to change the way that we connect with others, and you heard about it here first. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Just head on over to Eloq.social, ELOQ.social, SOCIAL. Head on over there if you choose to do so. There's a notification option. You can choose to sign up for that, and you will be kept abreast of the updates. And as soon as LOC is available, if you choose to sign up, you'll be notified. So again, you heard it here first. I'm a drone guy. I've got a lot of friends that are involved with a lot of big time things. So, check it out, and I certainly appreciate it. Oh, whoa, we've got Andrea. Welcome aboard, Andrea. And you know what? I've got to break something out here. Hold on just a second. Let me get it. Let me get it. I'm getting it. Yep. So this is for your super chat. When I was in the field and I couldn't do my didgeridoo, so I'm going to get it out here. So that, my friends, if you haven't tuned into a live show before, this is the sound of the super chat. So if you choose to super chat, this thing will sound. When we break $100 US during a single live show, I will break out the tribal drum. When we break $200 US during a single live show, there will be a big surprise. So yeah, feel free to super chat. Again, not required, but obviously highly encouraged. Being an independent YouTube channel is a great way. If you choose to support the channel, you can do that. And Andrea, hats off to you. One of the many top supporters of the channel, and it is tremendously appreciated. And Andrea, I don't know if you tuned in just now or if you saw the comment. LOQ, ELOQ.social. It's going to change the way that we all experience social media. So check it out if you choose to do so. Tell your friends, tell your family. There's a link on there you can choose to subscribe, and you'll be notified when the service is available. They're targeting, I'm talking to the developer, and they're targeting September of 2020. Now, obviously, like any sort of project, those timelines may change, but if you choose to subscribe to that list, then you can be notified, as soon as LOC is available. It's going to change the way that we experience social media, just an enhanced level of privacy, an enhanced level of, you remember the days back in the early days when you would connect with friends and family on social media, and it felt, somewhat secure, this, that, and the other. And like most everything else, things become abused, and you don't really have that comfort level. The thing about LOC, at least the way that I've interpreted it, is that it's it's a very just sign up for it, sign up for the mailing list if you choose to do so, and I'll leave it at that. But remember, you heard about LOC here first. So when LOC becomes the next big social media network, thanks in advance. We've got Jake said, here's a little something to show our love for the channel. Our signature 4 hearts. Greatly appreciated. Jake, always appreciated. And also the Terry Peppers foghorn video. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Mario says, I love the beach in the background. This beach is White Bay. And White Bay is on an island called Joost Van Dyke. And that's in the British Virgin Islands. So basically to get there, you can take a short boat ride from Tortola. You can take a short boat ride from St. John or St. Thomas. It's, it doesn't have an airport, so if you've got an airplane, you can't land there. You got to get there by boat. And it's actually the home of the famous Soggy Dollar Bar. And the bar got its name because you only get there by boat, so unless you got a dry bag and you're swimming ashore, your dollars are going to get wet. So, most people are swimming ashore and they've got wet money and they're spending it on drinks and souvenir cups, and the souvenir cups come with the drinks, but they may be buying some other cups in the gift shop and t-shirts and all of that good stuff. So really, really cool place. They've got great food. They've got amazing drinks. It's just a really cool place. If you're ever in the Virgin Islands, I strongly encourage you to visit Joost Van Dyke. It's probably one of the best. I'm not saying probably one of the best. Actually, it is my #1 beach bar in the entire world. And I mean, that's saying a lot. So, Infused Adventures, hello. Infused Adventures, welcome back, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always a treat. We are going to dive in so much depth to the Mavic Air 2 and some other drone topics. There's a lot of exciting stuff going. And just a reminder for everyone, I do have the didgeridoo. So if you choose to super chat, the sound of the super chat will come at you through the speakers. So Andrea says, thanks, sounding pretty good. Thank you. And Andrea says, oh, really, that's interesting. Brad, hey, Brad, welcome aboard, sir. Brad, do you want to, and again, no pressure, do you want to do the face on video? Do you want to dial in to the live show? If you do, you're more than welcome to. If not, you know, stay in the audience. That's perfectly cool. You know, no pressure. Jake says, I hate when my kittens sneeze in my face. My one Bengal kitten just sneezed twice in my face. Actually, that's a sign of good luck. If your cat sneezes on you, it's good luck. Jake says, I'm glad you liked it. Jake says, oh, there's a live cam on Soggy Dollar YouTube. Just so you know, I know there is. And if that live cam could talk, or if you could replay that live cam, you would see some crazy stuff down there. Because I was down there, let's see, when was I last at Soggy Dollar Bar? September of 2019, pre-COVID. Andrea says, yeah, that just sounds like a fun place. It is one of the most exciting places. You know, pull up in a boat, get out, swim to shore, eat some conch fritters, drink just a ton of drinks, buy some, you know, and I'm not a big souvenir type guy. I mean, I like to do, you know, I like t-shirts. I like to be casual. So I like to get a few t-shirts when I go down there and that sort of stuff. And it's just a really, really impressive place. And I don't have it in my pocket, but I've got, the last time I went, I got a Soggy Dollar Bar keychain. It was really cool. It says the slogan, and again, this is what's on their keychain. It's really cool. If you ever go there, if they've still got them, you can probably pick them up. It says, a sunny place for shady people. That's kind of cool. Jake says, I've got 2 female Bengal cats. Bengals are very cool cats. I miss the Sean Coonery. Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat. He's got a wonderful home now, but it's, you know, having to rehome him was, you know, as you might imagine, is tough. You know, it's like, you know, it's like a family member. So that was, you know, not a good experience, but, you know, it was something that had to be done. And, you know, he had a few years of opportunity to, you know, and we proactively tried everything we could to fix what was going on, and he couldn't adapt. So we had to rehome him, but he's in a very happy home, and it's, yeah, it's crazy though. So let's see, I'm checking my chroma key. This laptop's running well. This is the MacBook Pro 16-inch i9 with 32 gigs. This is performing like a excuse me, like a boss. I ate a bunch of blackberries. Picked them out of the garden and just ate those things. Jake says, yesterday one of my cats, my female Abyssian, knocked down a shelf, scaring the crap out of me and herself. Mario says, how's Mavic 2 Air with obstacle avoidance and follow me mode? Great questions, Mario. Obstacle avoidance, and actually I filmed it in the field the other day with the most current firmware. Obstacle avoidance on the Mavic Air 2 works exceptionally well. Again, I never assume it exists. I never trust it. And the only reason being is that, you know, those types of things, just like a parachute, you know, if you're flying an airplane, you don't want to use that parachute. it's a last resort. Your plane craps out and you got to jump out and try to get, safely to ground. It may work, but to be safe, always assume that it'll fail. And I do the same thing with obstacle avoidance. With that said, you will see within my Mavic Air 2 obstacle avoidance field test video, how well, at least how well I thought that the Mavic Air 2 obstacle avoidance performs. So let's see. Andrea says, what's in the drink tonight? It's 90 here today. Man, that is hot. That is blazing hot. No, I've got, and then Jake's also asking, what's the drink you got tonight? Drink, I should say. Well, this drink, it's just kind of, it's kind of a combination of stuff. So what I got in it is good. So I got my, I didn't have any fresh fruit, so I got this bag of frozen fruit. So I got strawberries, bananas, pineapples, oranges. I got all that in there. And then I dumped some 100% pineapple juice, no sugar added, none of that filthy stuff. Put that in there. And then I put some Cruisin' aged dark rum. Not a top shelf rum, but a very respectable premium rum that's from St. Croix. So I put that in there, and I've got this, and I'm just drinking it out of the blender, man. That's the beauty of this. Hybrid Life, welcome aboard. Hybrid Life, no pressure. But would you like to go face on video? Would you like me to send you a link and you tune into this live show face on video right now? Completely up to you, no pressure. Because I know how to do it now. I fixed all the bugs that I had. Jake says, hit 30 Celsius in Kingston today. In the Kingston area, hit 40 Celsius in Toronto. Jake is in Canada. And Andrea says, oh, nice drink. It is a very nice drink. That's the thing about a good drink. If you don't have to use the most premium of the premium spirits, but if you at least use respectable distilleries, then you can get, Hybrid, let me get my mobile contacting device, and I'm going to shoot you the link to this show. Hold on. Hybrid Life's going to join us face on video, everybody. Hold on just a second. Let me grab my mobile contacting device, and we're going to see what goes on here. So here we go. I'm going to shoot it over, and I've done this once. I did it with Brad, and it worked really well. The same night that I attempted it with Brad, it failed epically for Hybrid Life. So I hope this works out. Let's see. Let me go into my. I'm going into my tool where I can add you a link. Let's see. Let's take just a second to generate the link. Yeah, so I apologize for everybody out there. Ask your questions or post your comments, and we're going to go through all of that. I'm just adding, I'm adding Hybrid Life to this show real quickly here. Let's see, rendezvous, create rendezvous session. Okay, rendezvous session has been created. I got to get my earbuds. That's where I messed up last week. I didn't have my earbuds in. And that's what happened last week. We had all this. Here we go. Put my earbud in here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's firing up. There we go. AirPods. Okay, so now Hybrid Life, I'm about to send you the email. And obviously I will not mention your email address on air, but I'm going to send it to you. Let's see here. Okay, so here we go. I'm getting Hybrid Life into the live show. And for everybody who doesn't know Hybrid Life, he's encouraged a lot of things. Number one, a Tesla review. And then also he encouraged the Korean spicy 2X noodles and super chatted. And guess what? I did the Korean spicy 2X noodles. So that was a cool experience. They were very spicy. Okay, I'm sending this over. Link. It'll be just a second, man. I'm going to pop it up on my mobile device. Here we go here. Yes, sir. Okay, there's the link, and I'm about to shoot it your way, Hybrid. And what you should be able to do is click this link, and then once you come in, I should be able to add you into the live show face on video. We'll see what happens here. There you are, Hybrid Life. Here we go. And I just pasted you the link. And Hybrid Life, you should have that in your mailbox any second now, sir. When it comes through, feel free to click it, and when you dial in, I should be able to hear you on the earbud, which should not interfere. And see, that's where I messed up last week when Brad dialed in, is that I was able to, Brad actually helped me. He said, hey man, change your audio preferences, because I don't want to mess up the audio with, with our live stream here. That's not a good thing to do. Let's see. Jake says, oh, dark rum is one of my favorite drinks. Yeah, dark rum it's a different animal. I like white rum as well, but dark rum is so much better. Jake says, I also like Russian brand vodkas. Yes, the Russians are known for their vodkas for sure, man. That is one of their specialties. When you think of Russian people, and it's probably an unfair stereotype, but it's cool. You think of Russians, you think of somebody who's drinking vodka. That's just what I think of when I think of a Russian. And then Ross says, I could do with one of them. It has been raining all day in Wales. Jake says, take your time, Irix guy. I'm in no hurry. That's what I like, man. Just take it slow, slow and chill. Jake says, I'm actually having myself an authentic Russian vodka. Sounds good. Speaking of that, I got a bunch of blackberries that I just pulled off of the bush, and I need to get some vodka and mix that stuff up, make some martinis with blackberries. Mario says, are you familiar with the Skydio 2 drone, and do you think it's better than DJI drones? I've never picked up the Skydio or Skydio, however you pronounce it. Not to unfairly discredit the Skydio, but I feel that, I don't know, I feel like it's one of those things that's just kind of, and maybe I'm wrong, I just kind of get the perception that it may just be kind of like a fly-by-night drone and it may not really go anywhere. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But, who knows? I'd love to see a company come out with a drone and compete with DJI, because nobody's done it yet. Again, even GoPro has failed. So, I'd love to see a drone come out and try to compete. It says waiting to join. Okay, Hybrid, let me see if I've got your pop-up notification here. Let's see. I think what it'll do is give me a pop-up saying that you're ready to join. Let's see. I had my Final Cut Pro 10 whacked out on me. Let's see. There's a little friend icon. Add Hybrid Life. There we go. Oh, there you are, man. There's Hybrid Life right there. Welcome aboard, dude. Yeah. Can you hear me in the... Let me pop you into the live show here, man. Let's see. Let me get... I got to add the Network feed, hybrid life.
And why full screen? I just see your green screen right now. Oh, really? Yeah, I turned my computer off so it doesn't interfere with the sound and the noise. So, yeah. Yeah, so my channel is Hybrid Life. Like I said, I study medicine. I was in the Marines right out of high school, and I found your channel. I was looking at Rolexes. I hadn't bought one yet, and I was looking online just to see some reviews, and I saw your, I think it was your no date review when you were in the Cayman Islands. So I started watching a couple of your videos, and I'm like, oh, this channel is pretty genuine. Seems like a good guy, and I've just followed you ever since, and I've been a big fan. So nice. Right. No, it was just you with your Submariner on, and you were putting it in and out of the water. You kind of did a panoramic view of the ocean and where you were at. It was a short video. But anyway, that allowed me to go in further to your channel, and then I saw some of your cooking reviews, and I saw some other things, and I'm like, this guy really has a cool channel. At the time, it seems a bit antiquated as of now. This is like 6 years ago, maybe less than that, but it seemed like a long time because YouTube, I mean, it's accelerated so much in the past 5 years as far as viewership and people that have channels and video creators and stuff like that. So at the time, you seemed like such a, well, or at least one of the first people from that realm. It's kind of changed. So now everybody does YouTube now, but you're an OG when it comes to the YouTube creators, at least in my perspective. So as far as your 74,000 subscriber count, I think it should be way higher. I think it's going to be one of those things with some stocks, they consolidate for a long time and they have this exponential rise. And I think once more people see your channel, you're going to get subscribers like crazy. That's my opinion. So we'll see what happens.
Well, hybrid life, I appreciate that, man. And that's it's funny you mentioned stocks. That's that's another passion is chasing after the next 10 bagger or whatever penny stock, and
Right.
those are
That's
you know
gambling. That's not investing.
yeah it,
In the way that I look at investing. So
yeah, a penny stock should never be a buy and hold. A penny stock should always, and again, it's gambling either way, but it's often, most always a quick flip, and and this, that, and the other. But yeah, that's dude, that is cool. And I appreciate the supportive words because my short-term goal is to get to 100,000 subscribers because YouTube should send me a trophy or whatever, and be able to put it on the wall and just doing everything I can to achieve that goal and then take it to the next level, which I think is 1 million subscribers after that to get the gold. But
Well, I think one of your interim goals is once you get 300,000, you're going to buy a Tesla Model 3.
oh yeah,
I think that was the deal that we had, right?
yeah, that's what was prompted by your comments, and I was like, you know what, that's brilliant because I can't, like I said, I can't have it as a daily driver because it doesn't use gasoline, and I don't want to deal with all that. I
Right.
mean, but if I can have gasoline vehicle and then also, 100% electric vehicle, yeah. Once I hit 300,000 subscribers, I will hopefully have the budget to be able to, have both. Because right now I just drive an Audi, and I love that vehicle. It's great gas
Yeah.
mileage and you know hassle free so far. So fingers crossed. I hear they break down when they hit 55,000 miles. But you know, what
What's the warranty life on those things?
I think it's 5 year. I know with my BMWs I think they were typically 5 years. I think the Audi is I think it's also around 5 years. But the problem with the Audi, and I love the Audi, but the depreciation of it versus like a BMW, it depreciates very rapidly. So I'm
Relative to a
almost
BMW?
yeah. At least that's what I've
Wow.
seen. Now I haven't. Again, this is my first Audi, so I haven't traded it in or anything. But from looking at the charts and all of that, I mean, just look at how rapidly it's already depreciated. I'm almost inclined when I go next. I think I'm going to go with a TT or an A5. I'm almost inclined to do the lease option.
Well, the TT is a small vehicle, you know that, right?
Oh yeah, it's very small. It's got a tiny back seat, but it's I don't know. Have you ever been in a TT?
No, but I dated a girl in high school that had one, and I wouldn't even go in it. It was so small.
Oh, I couldn't
I
do
don't think
that,
I would fit
man.
in it.
Yeah, if it's that small, man, I'm not going to get in that. So, I never had one in the lot for me to test drive. I just looked at the videos. So, if they're that small, man, that's not going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that big of a guy either. I'm a little over 6 feet, and so if it's small, if I think it's small, then I would think that you would think it's pretty small. But who knows? Maybe you'll like it.
Yeah, that's a good cautionary tale though, because I don't. Let's see. They're saying that I can't hear. Let's say they were saying. Hold on, just a second here. What's going on?
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for your service as well. Uh, Canada is our ally, so um, appreciate that as well. Everyone always wants to say thank you for your service, but yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, but yeah, it's not really a big deal. So, what? Is he an officer or? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of backpacking and training, that's for sure. Boot camp and infantry school and stuff like that. There's a lot of hiking and so. But yeah, good for you guys.
they're saying they can't hear me, they can hear you, but I haven't changed my audio. So I've got a new thing coming, man. I've got it's called a Blackmagic. I don't know if you've heard of Blackmagic Design. It's a live streaming tool.
No, I'm not familiar with any of this stuff. I want to get my YouTube channel, growing bigger and bigger. I just do so many things right now. It's hard for me to dedicate time out of my day for YouTube. It is something that I want to get to. I just need to prioritize more. So
Yeah,
obviously I have school and I'm a weapons instructor and I'm always doing like side things, hobbies or working out and stuff like that. And your day gets so jam packed. It's like pretty soon you're sleeping 4 or 5 hours a day.
no,
And that's
it's
not healthy.
it's tough, man. Yeah, I know what you mean about the 5-6 hours a day of sleep is tough. But yeah, with that, I think that'll fix. Because see, I'm sitting here on this laptop with a software program called Wirecast, and that's how you're
Oh yeah,
brought
yeah.
in.
Right.
So, but since I brought you in with this, there's people that can't hear me. They can see. It's weird that they say it's okay now. They say you're good now. Okay, Mario,
Huh.
thank you. So I guess whatever I had to hit. What's weird, you see a preview within this program, and then you got to hit the arrow to make it go live. So I think probably what happened, I didn't hit it to go live, and so now they're seeing both of us on the screen, and that's
So with these live shows, when you have a guest, what do you usually do? Do you guys usually ask questions for the guest, or
well. See, I
do you
haven't
just
done the
usually
live shows with a
conversate?
guest.
Oh, I thought you said you had one last week.
Yeah, but see, that was when you tried to join, and then Brad joined, and I troubleshot with Brad, and actually Brad's the one that told me, hey man, here's how to here's how to fix your headphones, because see, I can hear you through my ear, but I've got it
Hmm.
separated so it doesn't. Because when Brad and I were doing that last week, I jacked up the audio so everybody on the live that the viewers of YouTube were hearing the feedback from the mics, and it was just a horrible experience. But I think we fixed that. So you're actually the second guest. I did a long time ago, and this was way back when there was Google Hangouts and Google Plus. This was probably not too long after, maybe 2014 or so. I did do some live shows with there was this girl over in Ireland. Her name's Drone Girl. Her screen name on YouTube, and she did a lot of drones, and
Okay.
we did a few shows. But it was just it's hard to find schedule wise. It's hard to find a time that that everybody, especially when you're dealing with the international component, that everybody can get together and and do a live show. So,
Right. Yeah.
but
You know,
yeah,
when you, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just saying. I mean, this is a live show, so I mean, just tell us about your hobbies. Tell us about your mission in life. What motivates you. Why do you like drones? This is open forum, man. Go for it.
So as far as the drone thing, like I said, I didn't find your channel exploring drones. I really know nothing about drones, which is the interesting thing. I think they're fascinating things that I'd like to get into, but I've never owned a drone, and I always see that you're posting drone videos and whatnot. So, but you also have that other side of your channel that kind of does a plethora of different things, and that's kind of where I'm at with your channel. I like watching the cooking or the watches or the car reviews or the technological reviews or the troubleshooting. Like I saw your Vizio TV video. I thought that was a great video. So things like that. So as far as drones, I don't have much to contribute in that conversation, and I know this is a drone show, but
Oh, well, it's a drone show, but it's an anything show, and that's it's interesting you say that. See, I'm constantly discovering with this setup because of the live stream. I was looking down at my laptop. What I need to do is put a
mhm.
monitor up here so I can read everybody's comments. So it's just kind of it's been a real time experimentation. And full disclosure, do you know how my channel started?
No, I don't.
Okay, so and I'll just kind of give you the summarized version. Everybody that's on the live show, y'all can hear this too. So basically, what happened, I didn't realize that that YouTube was a was a financial opportunity because at the time I discovered YouTube, I was working, and I won't mention the company's name, but I was working for a Fortune 100 company. It was, what seemed to be a very good job, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 right out of college. I felt like it was an acceptable career path. And then I went on a cruise with my wife and, had a crappy, $100, $150 waterproof camera, nothing fancy, and just did some cruise ship videos and, posted them on YouTube. I didn't know that I could monetize on YouTube or anything like that. I posted them because I wanted my friends and my family to see the cruise we had been on. We went out of a port in Mobile, Alabama, and went to several different islands, and it was just a fun experience. And so I posted that, and a few weeks later, YouTube emailed me, or Google emailed me, and they said, "Would you like to become a YouTube partner?" And normally I would ignore an email like that because it'd probably be spam or whatever. But since it came from YouTube, I picked it up and sure enough, read it, and they invited me, and one thing led to the next. And Trevor said, "How do I subscribe to Hybrid Life? Sounds like a great channel." Well, just click Hybrid Life's screen name here. Scroll up in your comments. What Hybrid Life? What is your channel? YouTube.com/Hybrid Life, or is it something else?
Yeah, it should be Hybrid Life. It could be The Hybrid Life, THA, Hybrid Life. The reason why it's THA is because THE was already taken, which is surprising to me. But
type
that's the story behind it.
Paste it in the comments if you don't mind, and then that way, because Trevor wants to subscribe to you.
All right, let me. Maybe I'll reach out to him.
See, I had my Final Cut Pro 10 blacked out.
Hang on, sorry.
Yeah, so that'll paste in there, but yeah, the whole YouTube thing, man, it just kind of spun off of that, and I'm like, I can post a video and make a small amount of money. I mean, it wasn't much, but I'm like, I'm a stock market guy too, and I looked at it and I'm like, well, if I have one video and I can make this, what if I had 5? What if I had 10? What if I had a few thousand? How can I scale this opportunity? And it wasn't just the the financial greed. It was more of a, well, companies everywhere are starting to outsource. I need to have a plan B. Just because I'm out of college and I've got what I feel is a lifelong career opportunity, that may not continue to exist. And sure enough, it didn't. After 10 years, I was severed from that position. The position was eliminated, and a large percentage of that company's IT roles were outsourced to India. So it's a good thing I had the opportunity that Google had contacted me and said, "Hey, we like your cruise ship video. Would you like to become a YouTube partner?" And I've never looked back. After that happened, I've never looked back, and it's been an exciting experience, but it's also been an educational experience. And it's good to hear the feedback that you provided, because it's not necessarily pertaining to drones. Although drones are one of the top performing categories on my channel. It's
Right.
good that you see the value in the other content, because every video serves a purpose. And with your channel, I mean, what you've already mentioned, I mean, you've got medicine, obviously that's kind of a questionable area. You've got to be careful about what you say and this, that, and the other. But you mentioned firearms
Just more
instructor.
so how to get into medical school and this and that, and maybe
Yeah.
talk about guns a little bit, and some fitness stuff as far as the military, and some motivational things. I've had a lot of vacillating times in my life, ups and downs, and how to get through adversity, things like that.
And that's all safe, man. It's safe, and it's greenfield, because you post that type of content, people are always searching, and
Yeah.
you're not stepping in. One of the things, and I know a lot of people do it, a lot of YouTubers do it. They tend to go after the very controversial topics, which is fine. It's people will watch that. That's been something personally I've chosen to avoid. I've chosen to avoid politics and in any
I think
sort
that's
of
smart.
yeah, because I mean, there's always going to be people. When you look at your subscriber base, you're going to have people with different political opinions. You're going to have people, different genders, different sexes, different races, all of this. So, my goal has always been content that anyone can enjoy and content that nobody should be able to say, oh, well, that's wrong because of blah, blah, blah. Just keeping it clean. And with that said, though, I've got a few YouTubers that I watch. Have you ever run across AC3, Archibald Chesterfield III, Archie Luxury?
No, I haven't. Oh, he's a watch guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of his videos actually. He's a kind of a goofy guy, but somehow I ran across him. I mean, some type of video I had to have liked to watch it. I think maybe he talked about Rolex or something like that. But,
This guy, he owns search, man. Anything you're searching for, so you'll have to check out his channel. He's one of these guys, and see, his formula is completely different because he started out. He's got multiple channels. One of his channels was entitled Paul Pluta, and he was just kind of he's in Australia, but his delivery was more of I'm just the watch guy, and he was very polite, this, that, and the other. And then he created these other characters, Archie Luxury, also known as AC3 or Archibald Chesterfield III, that are just very foul-mouthed. And, it's like he's talking about these, Patek Philippe's and Rolexes that are very expensive. And he was just saying the most awful things. I mean, it's just the, people watch it and they're like, what the heck did I just watch? Because, they're searching for, a high-end collectible timepiece. And then they stumble upon this perceived nutcase that's talking about this, that, and the other. So, he's got the shock and awe value. And he, actually, the video I posted before this live show, a message to Jenny L. Jenny L's another watch blogger. She's German, and she talks about, she's got very professional videos, this, that, and the other. And the message to her was, hey, you need to do a live show with Archibald Chesterfield III. I mean, you put serious and crazy on the same live show, that's going to be, it's going to be a winner, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, that would be a good show to have.
Well,
yeah. So anyway, you say that you invest in stocks during the day. Is that how that works?
Well,
are you a day trader?
I started. Now I'm older, dude. I'm approaching 40 years old. But the first trade I ever made, and growing up, I used to mow grass and this, that, and the other to make money. And I'm like, you know what? I've accumulated a few $100s, mowing lawns, this, that, and the other. I was super young at the time. But this was back before Netscape Communications, and I don't know how old you are, if you remember Netscape.
Yeah, I do. I'm 27.
Okay, so you're 27, so you're not too. You were really young at the time, but so basically Netscape, before you had the internet, you had CompuServe, America Online, also known as AOL, and Prodigy. That was kind of the pre-internet experience. And then you had this browser company called Netscape that came out, and what Netscape did is created what we now know as a web browser: Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari. They created that.
Right.
And they were the first. And I invested heavily in that with just a few $100 of money from mowing grass. And I watched that money turn, from hundreds to thousands to tons of money, right? And that's what got me hooked on the stock market. And that was a brick and mortar brokerage, because at the time we didn't have online trading. I mean, the internet was still new. I mean, that was the birth of the internet, so you couldn't trade securities online. So after that, I took it to the next level, and I did dabble with big board stocks. And after the big board stocks, then I started to dabble with the penny stocks, and in the most sketchy of the sketchy, the pink sheet. So, I've been on the pump and dumps. Have you ever traded pump and dumps and watched the forums and this, that, and the other?
I don't put that much money in them. Every once in a while, I'll take a couple $100 and just catch a spike and then sell an hour later or whatever. But I'm doing so much throughout the day that I don't want to have to worry about what the stock market's going to do. So when I invest in stocks, I usually just look at a company's balance sheet. I use kind of like what do I think looking at people's psychology, what do I think is going to be popular? What are people attracted to right now? I look at monetary policy. I look at what the government's doing. What are the problems? Where is it going right now? And then what is going to be beneficial to me when these problems are happening? How can I survive an economic crisis? Like, I mean, this is more prevalent to right now, obviously, with all this money printing, and everyone wants free things. And I think I don't want to get too political here, but you know what I'm saying. And
Well, that's
so
yeah, it's
right
not
now,
political at all.
yeah, I mean, just with the Fed and Donald Trump saying, and look, nothing against Donald Trump. I'm not saying I like him or dislike him on this, but just saying, hey, our economy is so great, when in an environment when you have low interest rates, usually that means your economy is not good, because it encourages people to take out loans because interest rates are so low. And so usually the economy is bad in that time, so people take out loans. If the economy is so good, you want to start paying back a lot of the debt that we have. We don't want to encourage more debting, because if you take out debt when the economy is supposedly the greatest economy we've ever had, then when do we pay that debt back? In a recession? That doesn't make a lot of sense. So, there's something going on here that people don't understand. And look, this coronavirus thing, I'm not saying that it was planned or anything, but it's a great cover up for some of the economic problems that we have going on that were happening before the coronavirus happened. And now we have 0% interest rates, or near zero, and our balance sheet is exponentially higher from just 6 months ago. And it's an interesting time. So right now I like things like gold and gold mining stocks, kind of to preserve your wealth. I've made good money doing that, and just some other things that I like. That I don't want to say all my investments here, because I don't want to
Oh,
cause
yeah.
an argument or anything. But
No, and speaking of the precious metals, the physical, what's really puzzled me about this is that I would have expected, silver. I mean, the last, it ran, what was that, 2009 or so, where it ran up to about $30 a troy ounce.
yeah, I went to 50.
Yeah, to 50. Why haven't we seen that kind of run up with the precious metals this time? That's kind of confused me.
Well, the problem is that when the economic collapse happened in 2008 and in 2009, the metals didn't go up until really 2011, 2012. It takes a while for people to get the common sense and say, hey, we're going to go into these precious metal stocks. So it's almost like a bubble inside of a bubble. So like you see right now with these equities high, the dollar strong, which it should be weak, right? If we're inflating the dollar, we're going to have massive inflation, in my opinion, because if we keep printing money, in that term alone, that's inflating the market, right? We're inflating money. So if you have more money into the market, that means that the money should be less valuable. See, if I have $100,000 and you want to buy something from me, and you value that as at $100,000, then if the Fed prints another $2 trillion, then now there's more of that money out there. So my value of that $100,000 should go down, right? The reason why gold is different than a printed dollar is because you have to mine gold, right? It's way harder to get. You can't just digitally create more.
Right.
So as far as your question of why hasn't the precious metals been going up yet, they will go up exponentially, and it's only a matter of time. The government can only kick the can down the road so long. So the second that gold goes up, then all of these mainstream investors know that there's an issue. But right now, people are believing Powell and the Fed saying, oh, the economy's fine, we're going to have a V-shaped recovery, this, that, and the third, and in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, after this bad GDP of Q2, we'll be fine. I mean, the lies are insane. If you go back and watch interviews on Fox News, CNN, on YouTube from 2007 and 2006, before the mortgage crisis, you hear the exact same people saying how great the economy is, how great the mortgage market is, all these things. So my question is that why are people listening to Fox and CNN and CNBC and all these big hedge funds for investment advice? Doesn't make any sense. If everyone was doing it, then everyone would be rich. but that's not the case. So you need to really use your common sense in your head and figure out on your own what are the issues, what are the historical trends that are happening, and be patient. If you're going to try to time it, it's going to be a tricky thing, but use your head, invest smart, and sit on it. I'm not saying don't day trade, because like you said, you can catch spikes and make a lot of money that way. It's just far more riskier. It's a different type of investing.
Yeah,
So,
like you said. I mean, it's definitely gambling. I've been doing a lot of COVID, pump and dumps. Because
oh yeah,
there
and
were,
I've never seen so many in my life.
I know, there's
The
so many of them,
the
man.
pump and dumps right now are just insane, and I'm almost tempted to throw in 1,000 here and 1,000 there and watch it turn into 10 in a day. And I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to do it because it's going to go against my philosophy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a buy and hold. Definitely not a buy and hold strategy. That's for sure. But I think, yeah, we're gonna. My biggest fear is, they're about to do another. Allegedly, they're about to do another stimulus payment to everybody, and that's just more debt. And
Yeah, and that's the irony here, is that if you looked at the retail sales numbers that just came out, they went up 17%. And so that basically tells you that the last stimulus check that everyone got, people didn't save that money, they went and spent it. So if you're giving people more money, they're just going to stay poor by keep spending the money. And then the people that already have investments, they're going to keep getting richer. So it's just going to increase the disparity that's already here, that everyone keeps complaining about, the 1% and the 99%, or however that works. So it's really not. I understand what people think, like, hey, if you give us money, we'll stimulate the economy through velocity and stuff like that. But that's just not the case, because it's going to cause hyperinflation, and not only hyperinflation, but it's going to be stagflation, meaning that the GDP is going to be stagnant because things aren't open. And when things do open, it's not going to be to scale that it used to be. And we still have that debt. So that's the
yeah,
problem. Yeah.
these times, man, they're hard to. Oh, hopefully it'll conclude soon. I tell you, man, I don't know. I hope
Yeah, no, I agree.
it'll have to sort itself out, because it's and again, I'm a straight shooter on the show about everything, and I acknowledge that just because I know people in the medical community, the COVID-19 definitely exists. It's not a fake virus. I mean, it does exist,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah,
the part that
definitely
is
exists.
faked is there's a lot of behind the scenes. There's a lot of things have been enhanced to be potentially worse than they are, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 for political reasons. So I'm not saying it's not a
Yeah.
potentially fatal virus, but I remain optimistic that hopefully it's been blown out of proportion. So I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that it has been blown out of proportion, or do you think it's just a common cold with a new name? Or I mean,
Well,
what's
I think
your
the virus. Yeah, I think the virus is serious. I think the virus is serious if you have some type of underlying illness, and even if you're healthy. I know you've seen people that are my age that can run 10 miles a day, have some type of coagulation properties happening that have caused strokes, and then they've died. They've had heart attacks, or they've had organ failure. We don't know why this is happening, or we maybe have some ideas. But as far as if you're looking at the numbers or percentages, so yes, you have to take it serious. Make sure you're not, spitting on people and licking your fingers after touching somebody. But you don't have to be radical about it and shut down the economy. So, like I said before, we were under so many economical problems before the coronavirus. It's just so convenient how this virus happened at when it happened, to now lower interest rates and create all this debt and blame it on the virus. Because we were going to have to do this anyway. We were going to have to do this because we were in so much debt, and Trump was claiming we had such a good economy, and none of it made sense. And it was about to collapse. The bubble was about to collapse. I think the yield curve inverted 3 different times pre-coronavirus, and that's a signal of recession. So then this coronavirus happens, and the problem is that, or it's not even a problem. An interesting thing is that we have the reserve currency, right? So all these countries have our debt. So it it helps them by having the coronavirus too, because if you own our debt in our currency, then you're in trouble too. The biggest issue is that we don't produce anything, or we produce very little. We're the biggest debtor nation. We used to be the biggest creditor nation. So when our dollar does collapse through hyperinflation or stagflation, these other countries are going to be in trouble because they own our debt. But at least they can produce they can consume what they produce, right? We can't consume what they produce anymore because we won't be able to buy their goods in our money. So that's the big issue here. Everyone keeps saying, oh, well, we have the reserve currency, so we don't have to worry. It's like, that doesn't matter. Rome was once a great country and then it fell. All these
Mm-hmm.
communist countries were one time great countries where you could have families that were rich. There's freedom. If you worked hard and really grinded in life, you get rewarded for it. But then pretty soon people said, hey, this isn't fair, this, that, and the third. And then, these lawmakers started making laws to promote equality. And look, I'm for equality, but I'm also for competition. Like, if you really work hard, then you should be rewarded relative to someone that doesn't work hard at all and they have the same thing or more, and situation dictates it, but that's life. So
No,
I
I'm with you
digressed a little bit,
100% on
but
that.
yeah,
It's one of those things. I mean, there's a lot of people, and not to get political with it, because I know we've got people from all sides of the fence here. But I'll just, again, this channel's
yeah,
always unfiltered. You get, if you're putting in the effort, if you've got a business goal, if you put in the effort to achieve that goal and it's successful, that's great. It's called capitalism. I mean, we're
yeah,
not, you're not doing a job, you're not performing a job, I'm not performing a job just for the thrill of working and being bored. No, most people are performing jobs to create success for themselves. And it's not just, it's not boastful wealth. It's not like, well, I've made this and I'm going to go out and buy this. It's more of a, well,
no,
I had an idea, I made it happen, it was profitable, therefore I'm able to do X, Y, and Z. And that's the way I look at it.
right,
I think capitalism is, should be a core component of every successful society. Because if everybody's
yeah.
equal, there's no. I mean, if everybody's equal, I mean, we're living in, what do they call it? The Chaz. I
It's
mean,
impossible to be equal. So people need to realize that something that people value as good is only in existent because something is bad. If good was just a constant, then it wouldn't exist, right? So equality, if everyone was equal, there would be no highs and no lows. But everyone wants that high that they're searching for, or the low that motivates them to get the high. You know what I'm saying? So if you're poor, then you want money, right? But you won't want money if everyone's equal. You won't want anything. But that's not how humans work. That's not how biology works. Biology is a competitive nature. So it's just the world that we live in. So if we were to able to explain that to society, that there's no such thing as equality because it's a constant. What makes good is bad and what makes bad is good. Everything's relative. The only way that I'm moving, like Einstein said in one of his theories, is that relative to something that's standing still, right? If something was moving at 60 miles an hour one way and I was moving at 60 miles an hour the other way and you were staring at me, you couldn't tell you were moving unless you felt it. But that's another thing right there. So
that's a brilliant, actually a very, very excellent explanation of the visualization of that, rather, I should say. So,
yeah, I mean, a doctor said, a famous doctor, his famous quote, he said, life isn't so much about velocity, it's about acceleration. And that's such a good quote because if you're going 650 miles an hour and you were constantly going at that speed, you wouldn't know you were going 650 miles an hour. But if you accelerated to 700 or to 1,000, you would feel that acceleration. So it's not about how high you are; it's about if you're accelerating. So if you were born to be if you're born into a billionaire family, good, great for you. And then you died a billionaire, okay, whatever. But you didn't really have that much of an acceleration through your life or movement, right? But if you went from uh, rags, had no money, to a millionaire, yeah, you died poorer than that billionaire, but you went from zero to a millionaire, so you had that much bigger span of life. So, in terms of hedonism or whatever, you had a good life. So
Speaking of hedonism, I
Yeah.
went to hedonism in Jamaica. I took an ex-girlfriend down there. It was hedonism in the grill. Now that's a crazy place, man.
Interesting.
I don't
Interesting.
know if you're married or not, but if you're not, you got a girlfriend, you want to take her
No.
out on a cool date, take her down there. So
Yeah. I
what?
mean, I'm in. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I'm not married. You know, kind of have a girlfriend type deal. It's kind of hard. I'm so busy as a student, but
So
I have
what?
girls I talk to. But yeah.
What prompted you to go into medicine? I mean, that's an awesome field, but what was
Yeah.
what what sparked that decision?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So originally I wanted to be a veterinarian, and that started because while I was in college, my first year, right after I got out of the military, I went in the military right out of high school and I have a summer birthday, so I went in really young. And then got out, started college, and I didn't really know what I wanted to be, so I kind of just picked, hey, I'm going to go into business, but I really never declared anything yet. So that first year, I worked at this horse farm by my house, which wasn't too far from the university I was at, and I started working with this vet, developed a good relationship with him, and I really liked what he did. And I said I could really see myself doing this. And the more I worked with him, the more confident I got, and I really said, maybe I should check out this pre-vet route. So for the first like year and a half, my goal was to be um, veterinarian. So I was looking at like, okay, how could I make my application more successful? This, that, third, and I didn't really know anything. So I go on Google and they're like volunteer at hospital. I'm like, that's weird. So anyway, I just volunteered at a hospital to try to say like, hey, he's out in society, helping people, this, that, third on his own time. And while I was at this hospital, one of these heart surgeons that was actually the president of the cardiac center there always would say hi to me and stuff, and randomly I just said, hey, can I shadow you, because I was so interested in this guy. It was more so I was attracted to the guy, not in that way, but like drawn into like, who is this guy.
Yeah.
He walked a certain walk, he talked a certain talk, and you could just tell he was a powerful guy, kind of like someone you'd look up to. And I shadowed him or whatever just to see what he was about. And at the end of the shadowing, I actually talked about how I invested in stocks, and he took a liking to that and asked me if I wanted to do research for him. And small world, his dad was actually a veterinarian. So I told him my whole story and stuff. And as I was doing research, I kind of switched my role. Like, long story short, I switched my role and then applied to Mayo Medical School's summer program for research while I was an undergrad and stuff. And got into that and studied neurosurgery and just got more and more in depth with it and fell in love with medicine along the way and made great mentors. I worked with some of the top doctors as an undergrad, and it's been a great experience so far. Tough but great. What makes it so good is that it's such a grind, and there's so many nights that you're just like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. That make those really pleasant moments so pleasant. You know?
So how many more years do you have until you're a full-fledged doctor?
Yeah, so I'm doing an MD PhD, as you can see up there. That's one of my publications. That's a neurosurgery deal. So on chronic pain, but so right now I'm working on my PhD, more so my research portion of it, and that's kind of, it's not really, it depends on your PI. So there's not really a set timeline for your PhD. As if anyone here knows about PhD, they know how that works. And so I would guess about 7 years until I graduate with the MD PhD,
So you'll
and then
be
I
a
can start my residency.
neurosurgeon. Is that the end game, or is it?
Well, it all depends on which residency I get into, but yeah, that's top of the chart. And then if that doesn't happen, then I'll have to reevaluate. But for my PhD work, I do neuromodulation, so I use kind of electricity to solve disorders like chronic pain or tremors or things like that. So epilepsy.
Cool, man. Well, that'll be
Yeah.
that'll be super helpful for a ton of people, and that'll be. I mean, I can imagine from a career perspective. I mean, that'll be the one and done. for sure. I mean, once you do that, there's nothing
Yeah,
else
we'll
you'll want
see.
to do.
Yeah, medicine's always changing. I have a lot of hobbies too, so I just go about it one day at a time. I eventually want to be some sort of leader at the hospital I work at, if that's running the hospital in some sort of way. That's I have that business itch too as well. So I'll
No,
never quit I'll never quit, working in medicine, but I want to expand the field of what I'm capable of as well. So
well, take the knowledge acquired, and your your doctorate in neurosurgery or whatever, and take that and expand upon your social media hobby, and and kind of put that out there, and it's amazing how many hobbies and professional pursuits can all blend together if you do it in a certain way.
Oh, 100%. And it's crazy some of the experiences I've had in just way different fields in medicine, how they have contributed to me being a good student in medicine are unbelievable. So really, there's really a full circle of life here. All your experiences matter, even though you don't think they do at the time. They all matter in some grand way to your life. So,
Yeah, I remember one
maybe
of my.
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just, for example, like something you learn in sports, you don't think that would ever contribute to your job or whatever, but things like that, So or maybe a relationship, or you messed up here, and you're like, all right, well, I don't know. I'd have to think about it before I said it properly, but
Yeah, it's. I think a lot of it is just kind of one thing I learned, and I, obviously I didn't do medicine. I did public relations. I was doing MIS, which was Management Information Systems, and I'm like, you know what, I want to step outside of my comfort zone and do, pursue a different field, and that's when I went into public relations. Even though I primarily worked IT, that's been kind of my gig. But I met a guy in college, and we would always talk business. I mean, we'd go out and talk about this. He's the CEO of multiple startups out in California now. I mean, he's made tens, twenties, thirties of millions of dollars. I mean, no big deal. But we would always talk about big business opportunities to create in the future, and he did it. And
wow.
I attribute a lot of his motivational forward thinking to what I've been able to, and I haven't created anything to the level that he's created already, but it's just kind of things that happen, people you meet, those are all like you were saying. I mean, those are all components that build your future self, your future professional self. So I mean, it's every experience, like you said, sports, whatever, it serves a purpose. It's creating your tomorrow.
Oh
So
yeah, I totally agree 100%. And yeah, I think that's good insight there. So
well,
anyway, before I go with your YouTube channel, because I gotta get back to studying here, but anyway,
yeah.
um, so what's your plan as far as what's your main, are you still going to be doing, a bunch of different videos, or are you just going to try to focus on one niche, or what's your main goal here?
Well, my main goal, and what you've said when you tune into this channel, that was super helpful. About because my goal, my at least my understanding recently has been that drones have kind of been my top thing, and I love drones. Don't get me wrong, and I'll continue to do drones, but you've inspired me to think outside of the drones. Excuse me, and put as much content out as I can. My obviously my short term goal is 100,000 subscribers, so I'll get the trophy. But I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
stop there. I want to turn this into, and I never mention dollar amounts. I mean, that's unprofessional and it's disallowed from a YouTube perspective. But my goal is to turn this into a full time gig that'll comfortably make me, you know, financially stable for the rest of my life. I mean, that's my goal. So, whatever the
Right.
content is, I'll pursue it. I mean, obviously, it's going to be appropriate for all age groups. I'm not, I'm not a YouTube host that's going to be out on a limb and, crazy and controversial content. That's just not my style. But I do want to do what you mentioned, like, the car reviews. I think those are big. Something I want to do is go after, we've got Audis, BMWs, Mercedes, all of those dealerships. I want to, find somebody within each dealership and just be like, hey, this is a weird question. Or like, what's that? Go out on a test drive with them and, okay, I run this channel. What if I came by on a Saturday or a Sunday and you gave me, 3, 4, 5 cars, whatever, to take out. So just kind of take those out so they know it's not like I'm the creepy, guy that's acting like I'm going to buy a vehicle on their lot. But, the guy that's like, okay, this guy is going to may provide value for our dealership. All we've got to do is let him test drive, our top vehicles for an hour, that sort of thing. And, and that was prompted by you because, you had mentioned, you saw my Audi review, right? Was that one of the ones?
Yeah.
Just, that kind of thing. So doing it in a professional way where it's not like I'm wasting the salesperson's time. I want to make the connection with the, with the owner of the dealership. Hey, this is what I do. Here are the metrics on my YouTube channel. Here's a video that I posted of a car, Audi A3, whatever, from whatever, and here's how many thousands of views it's gotten. If you want to give me your keys to one of your vehicles, and I'm not going to buy it, but, give it to me for an hour to test drive, here's what I might be able to do for you, and kind of take it that way.
Right.
So that's kind of my next step. Does that seem awkward to approach a car dealership like that?
I think that's genius because you have about 75,000 subscribers. So if I owned a dealership and if I wanted to be smart, I'd be like, all right, well, I'll use this guy. He has advertising because he has got a lot of people that subscribe to his channel. And I'll let him take a couple of my cars that it really doesn't cost me anything. And maybe I'll get people that watch his video come to my dealership. Maybe they'll just be driving through the area. Or I don't know if you tell people where you're from or whatever, but
that's where I'm weird. I'm anonymous.
Yeah, well, that's good, but
Yeah.
maybe go to a dealership like an hour away, 2 hours away, so it's not super close to you, and do these videos because you review things so in-depthly. Like that's one of the reasons why I bought the Rolex No Date, my first Rolex, is because I watched your video and your review. It kind of sold me on the watch. So Rolex kind of should be contributing to you, like, hey, here's some money for getting this guy to buy a Rolex. I bought many more since then, but part of that was because I loved my No Date so much that I bought more of them. And also they've been great investments.
So what's your favorite your favorite Rolex right now?
Oh, definitely the Hulk. I was waiting on that wait list for about a year and I finally got one. And as you know, it's been a hell of an investment. So,
oh yeah.
and I like the way it looks. I wear that at the hospital sometimes. I try not to wear them too much at the hospital because I'm a student. And they're probably thinking, what the hell? But
hey,
I love that watch.
Yeah. It's about what you like, not what others think.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes it is what others think. It's a matter of where you are.
Yeah, you have to understand the situation, and then go from there. But it should be what you like. I mean, unfortunately, some things don't work like that, especially if you're in some type of institution that works on hierarchy. But sometimes you have to play your cards right in order to get to the next level, which is unfortunate, but that's life, right?
If you're Archie Luxury, and you got to check out his channel, and he worked in his waste management job in Australia, and he was scrubbing bins and wearing his Patek Philippe. That dude is a nutcase, man. But Hybrid Life, I tell you, man. What's that?
Yeah, I'll check out his channel. But yeah, I got to get back to studying. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. We'll have to connect again.
Definitely.
When I start posting more videos.
Well, everybody, check out Hybrid Life and I'm going to post it right now. This is the link to his channel. It's The Hybrid Life. He is one of the top viewers of the channel. Subscribe to his channel. Wish him success with his medical pursuits. And Hybrid Life, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Great conversation. We'll have to do another live show. And I really appreciate all of your feedback, and I wish you the best of success, because talking to you, you meet winners. You're going to be beyond a winner professionally, so I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you likewise, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. A lot of my friends watch your channel, and I whenever I do your live shows, it seems like you have so many people that love to watch you and do what you do. And so congrats on that, and thanks for everything that you do, and we'll get together soon. So
Oh, definitely, man. Well,
anyway,
have a good evening. Thank you.
yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, so that was Hybrid Life. Super successful individual pursuing med school. And, again, subscribe to his channel. It's The Hybrid Life. He's the person that turned me on to the Korean spicy 2X noodles. So check out that video if you haven't already. Epic Drone Show is drones, but it's also a little bit of everything else, and that's it's good to have the dialogue. So we got Brad here. Hey, missed most of the show, unfortunately. I want to remind everyone, if you'd like to be a guest on an upcoming live show, shoot me a message, because I'm always looking for guests. I want to, and it doesn't have to be an Epic Drone Show. It can be an Iron Skies live show. Really want to expand upon this live in the studio guest component, because I think there's a lot of opportunity here for for making the content more conversational. I mean, when you've got a host and you're responding to comments, I mean, that's cool, and I really enjoy that. But when you've got one guest or multiple guests, it makes the show more entertaining for all of your viewers. So it was really good. Again, it was really good to have Hybrid Life. He chose to join the show, and that was super cool. With that being said, I've got a ton of drone content. I've got a ton of Mavic Air 2 videos that I'm working on right now that I'm going to edit and post to the channel. So stay tuned for that. Tonight was just a, again, since Hybrid Life joined up, wanted to do the, test the live show component, and that worked really well. And appreciate y'all's feedback. And it's hard when you got a live show, you got an earbud, and you got a mic, and it's hard to get all of this stuff just kind of set up and working correctly. So it was a proof of concept as well, which was super cool. And I want to remind everyone to check out ellock.social if you haven't already. And if you choose to sign up, you can enter your email address. Ellock is going to become the next big social network. So, if you're tired of some of the social networks, or maybe you're just wanting to add another social network to your list, check out ellock.social. And I just posted the link within the video's comments. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here, because I'm going to watch some TV shows and go to bed. So thanks for your viewership. Again, thanks for Hybrid Life for tuning in. Greatly appreciated. And everybody, y'all have a great evening. See ya. Hey y'all, Iric Sky here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.